This girl was born with a special ability, just one glance lets her see all the stats of others, but when she looked at the guy in front of her, all his stats were just question marks. Even stranger, he mastered every magic of this world. Yet a powerful guy like him joined Dragon Slayer Academy as a trash tier student. Turns out this young man is Kim Ho. He was originally a genius gamer from the modern world. In just a few months, he became the strongest player in Dragon Slayer Academy, but instead of climbing the ranks, he chose to go stealth as a pure support. All the resources he earned, he invested in promising students at the academy. And just like that, Kim Ho quickly set a record by training 1,000 S-rank heroes in 1 year. Just when he thought his conquest of the game was over, a new alert popped up. The system told him, "Congrats, you've hit a legendary milestone no one else has. Special quest activated, prevent the apocalypse AX difficulty." Kim Ho saw this and immediately thought of AX class heroes. That cost tons of cash to summon. For a broke player like him who grinds for free, this was a steal. He kept clicking accept without noticing the big warning below, "This is a reincarnation quest." And just like that, Kim Ho got sucked straight into the world of Dragon Slayer Academy. Then a familiar scene hit, like getting a notification. "Congrats, you got the AK Blue Dragon level 7 code." Excited, he entered it, then woke up to find his 5-year Free Fire account gone. After a moment, to process, Kim Ho realized all his skills and gear were wiped clean. Instead, he received a copy trait and an F-rank major flaw skill. Copy was clear enough, but what the hell was a major flaw? While Kim Ho was still figuring his next move, a new notification popped up. "Survive one target for 10 minutes. Reward Dragon Slayer Academy starter set. Countdown 10 minutes starts now." Kim Ho was pretty optimistic since this newbie quest mainly meant fighting small monsters. But when things are too normal, they're bound to get weird. Just as expected, Kim Ho got teleported right between two bosses fighting each other. He dashed off, heart pounding in panic. Two bosses at tutorial level X. Better get far away fast. The Red Dragon cast a little spell and it looked like hell opened up. Kim Ho glanced over and thought if he got caught in that, he was done. Before he could react, a sudden idea struck his tiny brain. Wait, isn't this the perfect moment to use copy? The red and blue dragons were locked in chaotic battle, neither willing to back down. Kim Ho's move to copy a trait had to be strategic. First, identify the target's name and level. After a sky-shaking clash, he reached a conclusion. In his vision, only one target appeared. The system instantly updated target trait, Elemental Resistance S-rank added as copy. Whew! That was close. He didn't expect to copy an S-rank trait so early. Lucky break. Elemental Resistance S reduces damage from all elements. While walking, he noticed a falling leaf ahead. He wanted another skill, but without mana hacks, activating anything else was impossible. Snagging one S-rank trait was enough, but then suspicion hit, Why's the wind blowing backwards? Oh no, it's quiet! Thought the storm was dying down. Who said it was calm? It was that dragon inhaling a big breath from across the field. The blue dragon wasn't backing down either and decided to go all out. Kim Ho looked back then, sprinted like hell from the dragon's deadly breath attack. Which one in Kim Ho's action to copy traits needs to witness the move? More importantly, he has to identify the target's name and level. After that sky-shattering clash, he concluded this. In Kim Ho's eyes, only one target appeared. The system immediately updated the target's Elemental Resistance S-rank trait for copying. Done, phew! He breathed out. Good, got it. Didn't expect to copy an S-rank trait this early, lucky me. Elemental Resistance S drastically reduces all elemental damage. While walking, he noticed a leaf falling ahead. He wanted to gain another skill, but without mana hack activation was impossible. Just snatching one S-rank trait was enough, but then suspicion hit, Why is the wind blowing backward? Oh no, it's quiet. Thought things had calmed down. Who's calm? The dragon inhaled deeply over there. The blue dragon wasn't backing down, ready for a life or death fight. Kim Ho looked back, then bolted, dodging the dragon's deadliest breath attack, running endlessly. Even with elemental resistance, it felt like a clash of titans where flies and mosquitoes die. One spits fire, one spits lightning, and one guy's about to meet his maker staring at a naked chicken. At this range, I'm dead. Boom! Kim Ho scrambled out of the fight. The system popped up. Tutorial complete. Rewards. Dragon Slayer Academy uniform student card train ticket guide. 2 boarded the train to Dragon Slayer Academy. Scene shifts to the train station, train heading to the academy. The station buzzed with energy. "Excuse me, miss, could you stand up for a moment? Is that okay?" A young man holding a sword spoke to a girl ahead, head down on the table, no seats left. "All right, may I sit next to you?" No reply, so he answers himself. Miss must be asleep. He's about to back off. "Sorry for waking you, just to move elsewhere." Before he finishes, someone else walks in. No seats left, it's Lai Seol, not Kim Ho. Hearing the question, the sword-wielding young man hesitates. Not exactly. She hasn't said anything. She's been asleep all this time, but just woke up." Kim Ho gestures. "I'll sit here." The girl immediately agrees. "Yeah, you can." "Just waking up now." Kim Ho gestures again. "I'll sit here." The girl quickly accepts. "Yeah, you can." Responding amid the sword guy's confusion and being ignored. "Thanks, I'm Kim Ho," the girl replies. "Kim Ho invites you. You can sit too, right?" She eyes the young man critically. "Kim Ho invites you. You can sit too, right?" The girl looks at the young man with judgment. The sword guy casually introduces himself. "Thanks, I'm Go Hyun." He speaks up. Very polite hands clasped in thanks, almost had to stand the whole trip. I'll definitely repay this favor. To Kim Ho. Kim Ho already sized up the martial arts hero by his speech. He politely starts chatting. Why are you so late? Go Hyun. Go answers friendly, on the way here I got lost after spotting 2 ancient dragons unexpectedly. Thinking back, Kim Ho nearly sweated bullets. Yeah, me too. The dragons freaked me out. I almost died. Smoke billowed and a long horn sounded. They suddenly realized the train had departed. Kim Ho starts pondering Dragonslayer Academy, the place he's arrived at. He's retreated so many times whenever new heroes show up, knowing everything like the back of his hand. It got boring, but this time was different. He looks at his 2 companions silently memorizing their names, Go Hyun-gu, Seol-jin. He feels detached, quietly observing all the students and instructors, all unfamiliar faces. Everything feels like slow-motion footage. Each character stands out. His conclusion settings might be the same, but the characters have changed, meaning upcoming events and quests might differ. Need to watch for changes. Kim Ho feels uncomfortable with the gaze from the person next to him. Also, that girl's been staring at him all this time. Over here, Selzen looks pretty bored, not caring about anything. Selzen has a special eye that converts everything she sees into stats. Looking at Go Hyun-gu, she thinks he's just average. I'm talented, you're so-so. Like the guy in front with a familiar status window, skill status for wind, heaven blade, sword technique, sword trait. The core C is normal. Moving to Kim. Ho is a different category, but Kim Ho's status is weird question marks and missing data. Lots of question marks. He's special. She can't count how many status panels look like that. Because he's special, she keeps staring, making Kim Ho even more uncomfortable. He asks cautiously, what the hell are you staring at, kid? He remembers a lesson from elders. At home, if you're interested in AI, treat them kindly. She quickly pulls out her VA lie. Notably, there's a bag of cookies. What's that about? Jen offers cookies. Kim Ho accepts, can't refuse. Ah, thanks, homemade. Jen confirms, yeah. He silently praises, not bad, didn't expect that girl to invite only Kim Ho, but give the guy next to him just... Kim Ho eats while asking, hey, Go Hyun-gu, can I ask something? That big thing next to you, is that a long sword? The young man nods. You bet I'm proud to say this is my family's heirloom. He proudly introduces it. It's a treasure passed down through my clan. Unfortunately, I'm not worthy enough to break its seal yet, so it's like this now. He happily shows off the second black sword. Until then, this iron sword will be my companion. Don't worry, I haven't met an opponent it can't handle. Kim Ho listens and comments, that strong, huh? But better find a more reliable weapon. Suddenly, a guy from nowhere opens the door and shouts, ahem! But better find a more reliable weapon. Suddenly, a guy appeared opening the door and loudly calling out, ahem! Everyone mind if I hang around here a bit? The young man was Go Hyun-gu. Always enthusiastic, no problem, make yourself at home. The guest laughed heartily. Haha, thanks a lot, just a little. But Kim Ho sensed something off, no footsteps heard. He seemed to know this was AI. He asked, why not sit down? And run around like that? The young man laughed warmly. Haha, you caught me! The kid struck a pose, flashing a business card. Just call Shin Bi-ung-chun. The Longslayer Academy delivery service. Pay up and we can get anything you want. People can doubt all they want. How can you be so sure? Kim Ho was skeptical even though it broke school rules, but the kid seemed experienced enough to back it up. Kim Ho called his bluff and now he was being chased. For running a delivery service, Shin Bi-ung-chun looked pale. Hey, you're blatantly peeking out the window, huh? Kim Ho suggested he just look out like something was chasing him. There was a shadow at the door. What now? Let's go! Shin pressed his face against the glass. A terrifying look. A group looking like the student council, the leader shouted. Come out! We know where you are, Kim Ho! Peeked out to check. The disciplinary committee had arrived. What now? Shin Soa shyly smiled as she stepped out. Crap. These students had authority, and each of them looked stubborn. The disciplinary committee was in charge of keeping order around the academy. Members were first-year students who enrolled early, then promoted to trained staff like now. The angry leader demanded, return what's not yours. Shin hadn't returned it yet. Then she zapped him like a strict debt collector. Kim Ho saw the girl seriously using her power. A mage's pull. That's rare. This guy was thinking of stealing it too. What now? Always fill the gaps, huh? Emergency protocol. The guy named Shin acted like he was deaf and didn't fear a thing. Who's the weak one here? I suck at close combat. The half-eaten pastry in Kim Ho's hand suddenly dropped to the floor. The girl wearing gloves was determined to teach him a lesson. Still won't give up? Then I'll take you down. She snapped her fingers, lighting up brighter than the autonomous zone. A lightning bolt shaped like a bird flew toward her opponent. Shin could only raise his hands to block. Suddenly a hand reached out and caught the lightning bird, breaking the attack. The hand grabbed it unharmed. The disciplinary girl was stunned. Another accomplice? Kim Ho stepped forward to deny. Not exactly, you dropped the pastry on the floor, that's mine, you made me drop it. The girl's face froze at the mention of the pastry. System notification, you have learned the support magic hummingbird. At the same time, Kim Ho said with mock anger, you guys made me drop my pastry. It was delicious and now you're just annoying me. Hearing this, Johan stiffened and argued back, falsely accused. Don't dodge aside when we're being nice, or don't blame the sea for being salty. Youngu quickly cut in lightly, touching his sword's hilt. Be careful, if you draw your blade, I won't just sit still. The scene instantly became chaotic. Tension rose between the two groups until Chun-hee's voice interrupted like a fuse being snuffed out. Hold on, we'll give you a discount voucher for desserts at the academy cafeteria. How about that? He nodded with satisfaction. All right, deal. Byung-chun muttered beside him. Wait, what about me, Kim? Ho replied without hesitation. Handle yourself. A flash lit his eyes, followed by the system announcement, copied skill 1-on-1 hummingbird. Copied trait 1-on-1 elemental resistance. He smirked. Thanks for the skill. Meanwhile, Chun-hee kept accusing him of stealing a GA staff's wig. Thanks for the skill. Meanwhile, Chun-hee kept accusing him of stealing a GA staff's wig. That joke went too far. Kim Ho was momentarily helpless, definitely deserved a beating before leaving. She didn't forget to warn me, don't get involved with Shin Byung-chun. He waved and said goodbye. There, I'll make sure to have fun, Johan. Turning back, he snorted coldly. I remember your face now. Just as the door closed, Hyun-gu couldn't hide his excitement and shouted, That's definitely the disciplinary committee. Byung-chun immediately replied, Yeah, the elite of the elite. The one who just hit me with the hummingbird is Song Chun-hee. He couldn't help but be a bit surprised because Song specialized in topaz magic. That joke went too far. Kim Ho felt helpless for a moment, definitely deserved a beating before leaving. She reminded me to warn him, stay away from Shin Byung-chun. He waved goodbye while chatting. All right then, I'll make sure to have fun, Johan. Turning back, he snorted coldly. I remember your face now. Just as the door closed, Hyun-gu couldn't hide his excitement and shouted, It really is the disciplinary committee! Byung-chun immediately replied, Yeah, the elite of the elite. The one who just beat me with the hummingbird technique is Song Chun-hee. He couldn't help but feel a bit shocked that Song was a topaz mage. What Byung-chun confirmed again, it's definitely Song. That's right, Song Chun-hee is the granddaughter of Thunder Emperor Song Ki-eung-gok. He continued listing like naming divine figures. The other three aren't to be underestimated either. Bai-ok is a disciple of the Fist King, Han Su-mi is a student of the Sword Empress, and Ji-hyum is the sole heir of Kim Lien. Johan might not be on the same level as them, but that's not all. Suddenly, Byung-jun quickly steps out toward the door where they were. He looks really happy. Next time you see me, don't forget to say hi. Bye-bye. Hyun-gu can't help but feel impressed, still full of spirit. Then he curiously turns to Kim. Hey, did you really come out here just because of that cookie? He shrugs lightly. Rare to see a thunder mage, so I got curious, but you? Hyun-gu looks surprised and confused. Didn't you just block a strike from Miss Song? Then he suddenly asks back. How well do you know the hummingbird move? He carefully thinks it over. It's the first time he's actually seen it. Then Hyun-gu gives a quick evaluation so fast his eyes can barely keep up. Instead of dealing damage, it mainly is used to disable or paralyze the target. Kim Ho nods with clear respect in his eyes. You're halfway there. Johan's voice breaks the silence. What about the other half? He looks up, eyes lighting up as he starts explaining. It's called hummingbird because it mimics how a hummingbird flies. At this point, Kim Ho seriously warns effectiveness depends on the user's skill. Watching the hummingbird's movement can reveal the skill level. He doesn't forget to give an example. If Song Chun-hee AE is truly experienced, Kim Ho adds, then when I intervene, the hummingbird would immediately veer off. Kim Ho pauses briefly, but it flew straight into my hand, huh? Meaning her control or combat experience is still lacking. Hyun-gu raises an eyebrow in surprise. Just one move and that much info? He chuckles softly. Of course there's more. Kim Ho subconsciously calculates she turned an E-rank spell into D-level power, so she must have a strong trait or a naturally large mana pool. No wonder she's the Thunder Emperor's granddaughter. Definitely a move to add to the collection. Hyun-gu goes quiet, then Zealous laughs. Just met, and I've already learned a lot, must be fate. He can't help but laugh loudly. Fate's a bit much, I'm just explaining stuff when asked. He immediately clasps his hands and bows respectfully. You're really generous. If you ever need help, just ask. I'll do my best. Kim Ho nods, but instead of a usual thanks, he says bluntly, then come out here with me. Oh, but first can I borrow a coin? Hyun-gu almost freezes. Right after Kim Ho flips back an old curtain revealing a broken arcade machine. Before Hyun-gu can ask anything, Kim Ho explains this train was originally a cruise ship. This area used to be a casino, so it's a bit messy here. Hearing that, Hyun-gu looks clueless. But isn't that thing broken? Kim Ho replies nonchalantly. Probably. As soon as he drops a coin in, it unexpectedly powers on. Kim Ho is just as stunned on away. He stares straight at the suddenly working slot machine. Kim Ho quickly pulls the lever. Gotta take advantage of it now! Instantly the machine spins and finally a bottle of water drops down. He puts on a helpless face. Huh? Not that I expected much. Hyun-gu's curiosity shows. Why did you come here anyway? Kim Ho hesitates, then answers. This thing technically breaks the school rules not for using the machine, but because of the items it spits out. Seeing that Hyun-gu cautiously asks, so can I just watch then? Kim Ho chuckles softly. Yeah, no problem. The disciplinary committee rarely comes here. They're probably checking somewhere else now. So, no worries. At that moment, a familiar voice suddenly comes from behind. Hey, what are you guys first years doing here, disciplinary committee Han So Mi? He shivers involuntarily. We're in trouble now, Chow Chow So Mi sternly warns them not to touch that thing. Kim Ho tilts his head slightly. That's a rule violation and points will be deducted. Can you stall for me? Hyun-gu replies with a tense expression. I'll try. I want to test a few things too. She glares at both voice slow but deadly. Helping someone break rules counts as breaking rules too, you know that, right? The disciplinary committee rarely comes here. They're probably inspecting elsewhere now. So, no worries. Suddenly, a familiar voice called out from behind, Hey, what are you first years from the disciplinary committee doing here, Han So Mi? He shivered. We're screwed. It's Cow Chow, damn it! So, Mi sternly warned students not to touch that stuff. Kim Ho tilted his head slightly. That's a rule violation, points off. Can you stall a bit? Hyun-gu replied tensely. I'll try. I want to test a few things too. She stared sharply at both slow but deadly tone. Helping rule breakers counts as violation, you know that, right? He clasped his hands in front, exhaling softly. This is my choice. As he finished, Hyun-gu quickly drew his sword. I heard Miss Han learn swordsmanship from the Sword Empress. May I have the honor to witness your technique? So Mai lightly raised her staff to block. What's your name? He quickly answered. I'm Go Hyun-gu, pleased to learn from you. Hearing this? So-mi darted toward Hyun-gu, a slight smirk on her lips, replied, I'm Go Hyun-gu, pleased to meet you. Hearing this? So-mi dashed toward Hyun-gu, a faint smirk on her lips. All right then. Instantly So-mi swung her staff hard at him. Seeing this, Hyun-gu slashed down with his sword. She was pushed back but quickly regained her balance. Immediately after she ran toward Hyun-gu without a word, So-mi wildly slammed her staff down on him. Kim Ho carefully assessed, his internal power's weaker and his elixir still lacking. He silently observed but wasn't ready to give up. There was plenty of potential. Using the upgraded missing piece, he boosted the target's internal elixir trait from E to C effect active no cooldown at 58 seconds. At 58 seconds cooldown. At 59 minutes and 58 seconds, Kim Ho whispered, pause for a minute. Instantly, the staff and sword blades clashed. At the same moment, the system announced effect active 0 hours 0 minutes 19 seconds. Effect active 0 hours 0 minutes 15 seconds. Over here, Kim Ho held a handful of coins, eyes quietly watching. Effect active 0 hours 0 minutes 14 seconds. Slot machines are the hallmark of any casino. No AI would waste coins gambling. But they didn't know this machine had an insurance system called Touch the Top. The machine trembled lightly, starting from 5 silver coins played. This was the 5th spin. Kim Ho raised a shiny coin, eyes gleaming like he'd found treasure. Then he borrowed 1 more silver coin and dropped it into the slot machine. Standing tense beside it, he calculated the machine would definitely pay out the highest reward on the 6th spin. Jackpot chance 100%. Suddenly, a frost crystal appeared, chilling to the bone. Handle with care, this item can be deadly. Upon seeing it, Kim Ho couldn't hide his excitement and grabbed it. Got it! So Mi suddenly lunged forward just as Hyun-gu dashed over and swung his sword hard. It's not broken yet! Effect active 0 hours 0 minutes 1 second. Back to Kim Ho, he suddenly chugged a vial. Enough, girl! Someone shouted in horror. Hey, if you drink that! The system suddenly lit up, applying a freezing status effect. He clutched his throat, coughing dryly. Soon, the system screen kept notifying the freezing status effect was active. After a while, Kim Ho casually shook the vial. It's done! All gone! Both shouted in surprise. What? They stammered. So, what was that bottle? He calmly answered without hesitation. Basically a type of elixir. Drinking it boosts mana. The insurance item for the 6th spin frost crystal is super toxic for newbies. A tiny pill can turn someone into an ice statue. Of course, I'm an exception with S-rank elemental resistance. Kim Ho glanced sideways, eyes full of calculation. Losing cold energy, the power inside the ice crystal will grow within me. Then Hyun-gu suddenly asked, Miss Han, you good with this? So Mai hesitated briefly, not quite. Kim Ho cut in. She's seen it all. Only an idiot would believe otherwise. Contrary to them, Hyun-gu laughed heartily. Helping brother Kim is a joy. Thanks to him, I got to spar with Miss Han and even scored some good loot. He was equally excited. He's helped me a lot, even lent me another silver coin. Hyun-gu suddenly proposed, If you don't mind, could you show me that technique again? Sure thing. Hearing this, Kim Ho quickly dodged. Next time it needs cooldown and I can't just reveal all my tricks. Inwardly, he thought cooldown still an hour, can't expose it yet. Hyun-gu nodded understandingly. Got it. A technique that's strong must have conditions. Kim Ho quietly replied, Today's still long, there'll be a time to use it. Scene shifts to a remote island. The group excitedly cheered, Almost there. The Dungeon Island. The train's last stop was named after its many dungeons. In the past, it was a lawless land crawling with criminals. Ho rolled his eyes in one direction, a calculating look clear in his gaze. Losing the cold energy means the power in the ice crystal will gradually grow inside me. Right after Hyun-gu suddenly asked, Miss Han, are you okay with this? So Mi hesitated briefly, not entirely sure. Kim Ho cut in sharply, She's seen it all, only a fool would believe that. Unlike them, he laughed freely. Helping Big Bro Kim is a win for me. Thanks to my brother, I got to spar with Miss Han and even snagged some good gear. Just as excited, he added, He's helped me a lot, even lent me some silver. Hyun-gu suddenly made a request. If you don't mind, could you show me the technique sometime? Sure thing. Hearing that, Kim Ho quickly dodged. Next time. It needs cooldown, plus I can't reveal all my tricks now. He thought to himself, cooldown still has an hour left, can't reveal it yet. Hyun-gu nodded understandingly. Got it. A technique that strong definitely has conditions. Kim Ho softly replied, the day's still long. There'll be a time when I need to use it again. Scene shifts. To a remote island, the group shouted excitedly, we're almost there! The Dungeon Island, the train's final stop, was named for its many dungeons. In the past, this place was lawless, crawling with criminals. Then one day, a hero and the first Dragon Slayer set foot here, wiped out the criminals, conquered every dungeon, built a city, and founded an academy. The Dragon Slayer Academy was born from that. Amid the quiet, voices jostled, first years, this way! Another shouted, don't go that way, don't follow! Hyun-gu laughed like it was harvest time, the chaos intense. At the same time, Nari's cat suddenly scratched a female student who screamed in fear, ah, hold it! Kim Ho helplessly said, it's really crowded! Just as the group focused on watching Chun-hee Ae, a voice suddenly interrupted, please assist, you could have been knocked out when the iron sword broke. Arms crossed with a serious face. Please come with us for a moment to the student discipline room. Chun-hyuk greets, in a welcoming tone, have a seat. There's only one room in the discipline committee. Anyone who enters ends up changed. As he returns from the room, Se-hoon's voice rings out. This sealed room is colder than the air itself, I heard you. Took something from the slot machine, but it seems like no problem at all. The scanner didn't detect anything. Hearing this, Kim Ho smirks a bit. Of course, the freezing effect wore off ages ago. He carefully guesses. Looks like it's not a banned item. Se-hoon stops by the table, his eyes slightly narrowed. But Kim Ho, listen up. I don't know if you knew, but going against the committee's orders will get you punished. O.C. Han, BA rank chief of the Satlong Academy Discipline Committee, appears later. Suddenly his tone shifts, his face softens noticeably since no one got hurt. And since this is your first offense, you won't be held responsible, but I hope this is the last time I have to see you. Here Kim Ho stands up stiffly. Yes, sir. Se-hoon politely continues. All right, then have a good semester. Once again, Kim Ho replies respectfully, yes, sir. Then he turns and leaves the room. Se-hoon quietly sips his tea. Looks like you don't like him, huh? Chun-hee clenches her sleeve angrily, looking suspicious no matter how you see it. Chun-hee Ae Tun-ra, a guy analyzing if the target isn't a banned item, there's no reason to use that machine. She insists. If the target isn't a banned item, there's no reason to use that machine, she insists. There's also no reason to destroy all evidence on the spot, they all reason together. Chun-hee serious? You're probably right, he likely got an illegal skill. If they run an inspection, they'll catch him for sure. Opposite to her, Se-hoon is indifferent. Yeah, maybe. His voice lowers, then he quietly asks, but what if nothing is found? So what? If they use an inspection and find nothing, what do we do next? Her sharp words suddenly falter. Immediately, Chun-hee Ae bows apologetically. Sorry I was too hasty. Se-hoon changes tone to a softer one. Jun-hyung, I know you're passionate, but in situations like this, we need to take our time and assess the context. A pause passes, he turns with a friendly smile. Alright, carry on with your work, don't be late for the orientation. Scene shifts. At class, Kim Ho quickly approaches. Thanks for saving me a seat. System screen lights up. Tutorial complete. 3 of you. Attended orientation on time, rewarded with an E-rank weapon selection ticket and 5 silver coins. He scans the announcement board. He smiles faintly. An E-rank weapon is better than nothing, plus a silver reward. Also put into the slot machine. At the square, students crowd tightly, some shouting, there he is! That's the principal. Doesn't look like much at all. One whispers, I heard? He once led a Satlong squad. Usually the Satlong Academy principal is a retired hero. The title? Hero is given to only one among countless S-rank fighters, just one, though he looks plain inside. He's a huge source of power. A student's voice quietly rises in the crowd. But didn't he refuse 4 times already? Another chimes in, no, 5 times, just got rejected once more. There. Kim Ho smiles widely while Principal Ho Kan greets the new students twice. We sincerely welcome you to Satlong Academy! The principal's voice echoes across the square. Satlong Academy was founded long ago, true to its name to prepare for fighting dragons and train to become dragon slayers. The principal pauses, seemingly weighing how much pain his speech will inflict on the students' ears. The first hero emphasized the word slayer in the name, so you all need to understand what slayer really means. If you've never killed an ogre, you can't be a ogre slayer. The principal suddenly poses a question. What is slaying those who haven't? Killing a dragon alone doesn't make you a dragon slayer. Kim Ho groaned softly, praying for an end while the principal kept lecturing non-stop. Taking a life is the fate and essence of a monster slayer. Don't deny this truth. But ask yourself why you want to kill, why you want to take another creature's life. Hopefully you all find your answer before graduation. One more thing. A student shouted, stirring the crowd, Stop it already, my head's killing me. The principal, whether on purpose or not, continued. I hope you all become true heroes here at the Dragon Slayer Academy. That was it. Unlike the group, Hyun-gu laughed excitedly. Saying it was a meaningful speech, Kim Ho glanced over confused. Don't you get bored? He nodded devoutly. Bored. Every single word is priceless wisdom. My master talks about these principles every day. Kim Ho started sweating. You have to listen to that daily. Suddenly, a female instructor with eyes sharp as a razor stepped onto the podium. A quick update, the banned item list for this year has been revised. Anyone caught with these items will face discipline and confiscation. Her tone slowed threatening. Unless otherwise notified, all new students may only take practical exams on the ground floor of the dungeon building. Going to lower floors without permission means your Demon Tower clan or guild will face consequences, so be careful. She glanced down over her glasses. If permitted, your Demon Tower clan or guild will bear the consequences, so be careful. The instructor's gaze was razor sharp. A moment of curiosity could bring disaster upon everyone. Know the rules clearly and follow them to avoid punishment. The orientation ends here. Everyone returned to the dorms in time for dinner. Someone gulped loudly. That's it, straight to the point. At the same time, Bi-Eung-chun loudly called out, Let's eat, guys. Hyun-gu's eyes went wide. Boss, what's wrong with you? He laughed. That's just a minor accident. Suddenly, Bi-Eung-chun raised his voice to remind, Make sure to eat your fill. Kim Ho felt suspicious. Why? Bi-Eung-chun quickly explained, Tomorrow's the first day of class is a big deal. That night in the dorm, Nam Hyun-gu excitedly peeked out, thank goodness. Living next door was either coincidence or fate. Kim Ho teased casually, I'm not that lucky. He smiled awkwardly. Kim Hyun, sleep well inside. Exhausted, he headed straight to his room. Sleep no chance. Kim Ho quickly hung his uniform in the closet corner. Then he climbed onto his bed and sat cross-legged, meditating. Free time like this. Kim Ho sat upright, a mystical blue light emanating from him. To use any skill requiring magic or inner power, you need a power core. That's its role. He suddenly opened his eyes cautious. This is my first time trying outside the game, but I already know what to do. I absorbed the ice crystals, so I have enough mana. I can do this. Meanwhile, in Go Hyun-gu's room, he meditated intensely. Handsome was the strongest opponent he'd faced since leaving the mountain, though they held back during their fight. If both had gone all out, the outcome would have been unpredictable. Without Kim Ho's support, he might have been defeated as soon as his steel sword broke. Hyun-gu called Kim Ho a master from their first meeting, a calmness only the strong possess eyes sharp enough to see everything. Thinking this, he glanced at his sword. Should I ask him for help? That thought was immediately shut down. No, I can't. He's my first true friend. He returned. To meditation, a slight smile forming. I'll do my best on my own before tomorrow. In the temporary classroom, the group gathered fully. Outsiders entered weakly gesturing and adjusting their clothes. Hyun-gu's eyes lit up. She's here, I was worried the lady might oversleep. Kim Ho assessed. She probably did. Then one student looked up at the podium confused. Where's the teacher? Someone nearby replied coldly. No idea. Kim Ho sighed. The word master was what Hyun-gu used to describe Kim Ho from their first meeting. Calmness only the strong possess eyes sharp as if seeing everything. Thinking this, he glanced at the sword. Should I ask Big Bro for help? That thought was immediately shut down by Hyun-gu. No way. He's my first true friend. He returned to meditation, a small smile creeping up. I'll do my best before tomorrow. In the temporary classroom, the trainees gathered fully. Outsiders entered weakly waving and brushing their clothes. Hyun-gu's eyes lit up. She's here. I was worried you'd oversleep. Kim Ho assessed, probably did oversleep. Then one trainee looked up at the podium blankly. Where's the teacher? Someone nearby responded lazily. No idea. Kim Ho couldn't help but sigh. The bell rang but no teacher showed. Wonder who the homeroom is so careless. A figure passed a female student and then turned to the group's faces, which suddenly went pale. Then one of the students looked up at the podium confused. Where's the teacher? The person next to him replied lazily. No idea. Kim Ho couldn't help but sigh. The bell rang but the teacher still wasn't here. Don't know who the homeroom is, but they're really careless. A figure passed by a female student, then turned toward the group of students whose faces suddenly drained. Soo-dok glanced around the class, in a tone as deep as a hellish sigh. Judging by your faces, I must be pretty famous. Nice to meet you all. I'll be your homeroom teacher this year. My name's Ly Soo-dok. Then the teacher suddenly pointed toward, I'll be your homeroom teacher this year. My name is Ly Soo-dok. Then he suddenly pointed at a female student. Hey, you, what do you call me? She nervously replied, Crime Hunter, sir. Soo-dok immediately rejected it. Not those two words. The trembling girl answered, Butcher, sir, and Ho frowned slightly. So that's him. In the Satlong Academy world, there are superhumans beyond human limits like grains of sand. Among them, criminals driven by twisted desires are essential. Ly Soo-dok's mission is to hunt and capture these criminals. His nickname Butcher means he kills more criminals than he arrests. The teacher looked at the students with sharp eyes. I don't want to stay here either, but I promised the principal I've never failed a single mission. A breath past Soo-dok continued coldly. So I expect you all won't tarnish my record. Honestly, I'd rather kill you than let you fail. He quickly wrote on the blackboard and turned back to the main topic. I'll explain how scoring works. Soo-dok announced sternly. Theory exams count for 30%. Consciousness scores 10%. Just breathing and staying out of trouble for many of you, that's basically free points. However, consciousness scores can drop below 0 and drag down all other scores. Then he paused for emphasis. I will be watching the slacker types closely. Who knows? After graduation, we might cross paths again. The chairman continued announcing the score breakdown. Next is the most important part, practical exams. The practical exam is divided into dungeon conquest, where you must clear floor by floor. The teacher's voice was steady under invisible pressure, adding, and dueling the students face off against each other. Scores accumulate. In other words, you must outperform the person next to you. At this, the chairman slammed the blackboard. Conquest and dueling each count for 30% of total points. Any questions? Seems like none. Then let's hit the arena. Outside, a male and female fought fiercely. In the tense atmosphere, the chairman loudly declared, time for the ranking test. Young-chun excitedly cheered, this is it, the big deal. Hyun-gu suddenly snapped awake. Remembering what he said yesterday to prepare students for anything? Dueling rules change every time. Today's ranking test duel rule is deathmatch. The match ends only when one side is exhausted, unable to fight, ready to quit, or surrenders. The time limit is 5 minutes. If no winner, it's a draw. Young-chun jumped in to explain further. Each person fights 3 random opponents and earns points based on wins with 300 points per win. Hyun-gu tilted his head toward Kim-ho. What about draws or losses? He quickly replied. No points but no deductions either. Suddenly, the system screen popped up before Kim-ho, showing a side quest for the ranking test target above average rank. For the test, win at least one duel match and rank no lower than the top 50% in Dungeon Conquest. Current rank has no reward, but skill support slot +1 is granted. He carefully calculated just need to win one duel and do decent in the conquest. But what's important now is something else. Thinking this, Kim-ho glanced at Chun-hee. The ranking test is the perfect time to gauge other students' abilities, a chance for talents to train toward S rank or to remember skills and traits worth copying. After a moment, the chairman announced over the loudspeaker, Kim-ho Hong IA owner HV Cap a step forward. Hyun-gu immediately cheered Kim on. You got this, bro. Instantly IA owner HV Cap A and Kim-ho appeared simultaneously on the stands. He carefully observed his opponent. The rival was Ruby Tower, specializing in fire magic. The sparring match taking it easy during the raid, but the important thing now is something else. Thinking this, Kim-ho glanced at Chun-hee. Checking rankings is the perfect time to size up other students. A chance for talents to train up to S rank or remember students with skills or traits worth copying. After a while, the chairman announced Kim-ho Hong IA owner HV Cap a step up. Hyun-gu immediately cheered Kim on. You got this, bro. Instantly, owner HV Cap A and Kim-ho appeared on the stage. He carefully observed his opponent. The enemy was the Ruby Tower. Ruby Tower specializes in fire magic. Famous for high firepower and excellent area control, his top pick in the game. Kim-ho subconsciously laughed. Sorry, but you're playing me for 5 minutes. Owner HV Cap A stood in the arena, eyes sharp scanning Kim-ho. In her mind, a burning determination, I have to make a name for myself. To do that, I must take down a notable opponent. A burning determination, I have to make a name for myself. To do that, I have to take down someone with a rep. Kim-ho had never heard the name. His eyes flicked quickly at the weapon in hand. What kind of weapon is that? Even a novice mage would snicker at that earth element staff. Yes, that's an E-rank earth staff, slightly boosting earth magic and protective magic. She carefully analyzed it, definitely not from the Emerald Tower, and it doesn't look like an earth mage's. That means he's only using the staff to support protective magic. The length of the staff shows he prioritizes power over agility. To support protective magic. The length of the staff shows he favors power over agility. Meanwhile, the chairman loudly counts down 3, 2, 1, hearing that Ion HVKFA quickly raises the magic staff. Basically, he's just a support mage standing still. At the same time, the master shouts, "Start!" She immediately unleashes her burst skill. Ion HVKFA silently vows, "I'll finish this with a lightning-fast strike." Witnessing the rare sight, the students start whispering, "Did you see no flash from that spell?" Another replies, "Right, it's the Ruby Tower." Ion HVKFA's face suddenly pales. The system announces Hong. Ion HVKFA at 100%, Kim-ho at 100%. She can hardly believe her eyes, no way. I thought he wouldn't land it in one shot, but Kim-ho is steadily closing in on Ion HVKFA. She instinctively feels scared, can't do anything. The big screen shows Hong, Ion HVKFA and Kim-ho both at 100%. They're blending into the dust on the battlefield. Ion HVKFA frowns, wondering no effect. Is he using a reflection spell? Then she points her staff straight at him. Her other hand forms a barrier. If that's the case, how about this? Kim-ho coldly watches the fixed move. Reflection spells won't stop me. Seeing the barrier surrounding her, he thinks about moving. Just one opening and I'll shoot immediately. Sensing something's off, Ion HVKFA instantly suspects, what's this? His calm attitude makes her wonder why he just stands there like he's mocking her. So confident, Ion HVKFA fires a massive power from the orb on his staff and shouts, "Try blocking this fire pillar flames shooting forward." Kim-ho slightly frowns. Then a blazing column of fire engulfs his body. The crowd is shaken by the overwhelming power. Some even gasp, this is truly the Ruby's level. Suddenly, Ion HVKFA freezes seeing Ho still standing firm after the fiery blast. Stunned, she exclaims. In his mind, he just took a hit from the Ruby Tower's main attack without a scratch. Ion HVKFA thinks if this keeps up, I'll have to use my trump card. Meanwhile, Kim-ho silently releases a dazzling blue light. As it speeds toward Ion HVKFA, she's shocked to realize it's a hummingbird, an S-rank bird flying at insane speed. Luckily, Ion HVKFA dodges just in time, but before she can recover, it slams hard into her back, making her cry out in pain. The big screen flashes paralysis effect applied on Ion HVKFA. She slumps to the ground surrounded by crackling lightning bolts wrapping her body. Kim Ho coldly says, "Let's end this here." He looks at Ion HVKFA with concern, kindly advising you should save your trump card for later matches. After seeing her pathetic state, his words sound like pure sarcasm. Think bigger picture. Right after the big screen announces the results, Hong Eon HVKFA loses, Kim Ho wins. The audience gasps. Whoa, Hong Eon HVKFA lost. How come he didn't lose any HP? Is he an AI? Doesn't seem like a genius club member. So he's an AI, damn. Hearing this, Kim Ho worries being noticed is bad, gotta be careful now. Just as he thinks that, the host throws cold water on him. Next up, Kim Ho's face darkens, muttering, "Not again." No mercy at all. Next, Song Chun-hee is called. The students are surprised, whispering Song Chun-hee from the Ruby Tower heard she joined the disciplinary committee right after enrollment. Song Chun-hee steps out, her body blazing with fire and eyes sharper than ever. She carefully puts on gloves for the duel. "You're lucky. I have something to confirm with you, Kim Ho." Hearing this, he silently watches her without reply. Then without hesitation, he turns to the judge and says, "I surrender, Song Chun-hee." Scores announced, Hong Eon HTV Cap A Thua vs Kim Ho. The audience gasped in surprise. Whoa, Hong Eon HTV Kappa Thua, how did he not lose any HP? Is he an AI or something? Doesn't look like a prodigy? No way to find out more. So he's an AI, damn. Hearing this, Kim Ho worried silently, thinking he was getting more attention than he wanted. Better be careful. Just as he thought that, the host threw a cold bucket of water over him. Next up, Kim Ho's face darkened as he groaned, "Not again." What no respect for anyone. The next name was called Song Chun-hee. The students were surprised, whispering among themselves, "Song Chun-hee from the Emerald Tower. Yeah, I heard. She joined the disciplinary committee as soon as she enrolled." Song Chun-hee stepped out blazing with energy, and eyes sharp as ever, carefully putting on gloves for the fight. "You're lucky. I have something to confirm with you, Kim Ho." Hearing this, he just silently stared at her without replying. Then without hesitation, he turned to the judge and said, "I surrender, Song Chun-hee." The audience erupted in anger. "What?" Teacher Lee Soo-dok frowned and asked, "Why?" Kim Ho rubbed the back of his neck, squinting one eye, and said, "I'm just not in my best state today. Fighting more will be tough for me." Lee Soo-dok looked puzzled. "Isn't it better to earn more points?" The teacher asked again to confirm, "So you really want to give up?" Without hesitation, he replied, "Yes, I can't push any further." Ignoring the clenched hand, trembling slightly with anger, he remained calm. "Then just forfeit the match too." Seeing he couldn't stop him, Lee Soo-dok immediately agreed. "All right, I'll count this as a loss." Song Chun, he mocked him. "Pathetic, always eager to challenge me." With a determined look, "My old man always said no hesitation even if the circumstances aren't ideal. You have to fight for the win to reach the peak." Hearing this, Kim Ho was startled to realize the kid is the Thunder Emperor's grandkid, like grandfather, like grandson. He could see the strong spirit of the Thunder Emperor in her resolute look, paired with a hot-headed hero, but it had nothing to do with him. Thinking that, he turned his back and waved off, leaving Song Chun-hee stunned. "Yeah, probably not for me, consider it your win." She also turned away looking disgusted. "So disappointing, I must be an idiot to expect anything from you." Suddenly he blurted out, "Oh, right!" She immediately turned back to ask. Kim Ho casually said, "Didn't you say you'd give me a white ticket?" His words made Song Chun-hee laugh angrily. "I'm still waiting." Then Master Lee Soo-dok's voice continued. Song Chun-hee and Young Ji-hong just appeared, and he laughed loudly without holding back. "Is that the Jade Tower?" The laughter died instantly. "You ready?" Lee Soo-dok shouted to start. Immediately, a massive power shot up like an arrow and rushed straight at Young Ji-hong. Moments later, the big screen showed the score: Song Chun-hee 100% versus Yang Ji-hong 0%. On the arena stood the cold figure of Bi-eung-chun. Shocked, she asked, "She's got her eye on him." Kim Ho nearby shrugged. "Seems like it, watching the medics carrying the body." "I'm out," Bi-eung-chun sighed in relief. "Good thing you surrendered early or you'd be BBQ by now." Down on the arena, Song Chun-hee threw a furious glare at him like she was about to snap. Bi-eung-chun immediately looked worried and asked him, "Did you see that look just now?" Beside Bi-eung-chun, people kept praising, "No wonder she's the Thunder Emperor's granddaughter, kicking off with style." Kim Ho smiled, satisfied. "All right, now I just gotta win." Above, some confused students whispered among themselves, "Damn, who just gives up during the ranking test? Must have been scared of Song Chun." He should be scared, right? That win against Hong Ion HVKPA was just luck. What? He's just a coward and worthless. All this caught Kim Ho's sharp attention. He thought, not worth noting, but beating Hong Eon HVKPA from the Jade Tower is exactly the kind of reputation I want. After a while, Master Lee Soo-dok's voice rang out again. "Next, Song Chun." "Hey!" Bi-eung-chun looked at the notebook in surprise. "Oh, straight away. Who's the unlucky opponent?" Fully equipped, she stepped out at Teacher Seong-jin's call. Seeing her, Bi-eung-chun was surprised. "Huh, Royal Guard?" That's unexpected. Kim Ho noticed her too. Just found out myself. On Song Chun-hee's cold face, exclamations rose. This is gonna be interesting, a royal guard. The natural rival of Mage Song Chun-hee. Losing here wouldn't be surprising. Kim Ho's eyes gleamed as he retorted, who knows, let's see. Bai Eung-chun objected, no way a cautious royal guard can't lose. He raised his hand betting 5 silver coins. Bi Eung-chun immediately agreed, deal. The score appeared Song Chun-hee 100% vs Sel Zen 100%. Below were the sharp eyes of Song Chun-hee and the calm look of Seo Jin. The signal sounded start. Seo Jin immediately fired at the opponent without wasting energy. With one strike, Song Chun-hee stopped the bullets mid-air. They froze just before hitting her. Bi Eung-chun in the stands exclaimed disappointedly, what blocked? Kim Ho remained unfazed. Just as I thought. Watching her attacks, it was easy for him to see Song Chun-hee's mana pool was much larger. The hummingbird technique at E rank in his hand must be equivalent to rank D. Opposite. The score appeared Song Chun-hee 100% vs Sel Zen 100%. Below were Song Chun-hee's sharp gaze and Seo Jin's calm expression. The signal sounded. Start. Seo Jin immediately fired towards the opponent without much effort. With a single move, Song Chun-hee stopped the bullets mid-air. They froze just before reaching her. Bi Eung-chun in the stands sadly exclaimed, what blocked? Kim Ho remained calm, just as I thought. Watching her attacks, he easily figured her mana pool was much larger. His E-rank hummingbird skill must be roughly D rank. On the opposing side, Seo Jin kept firing back. Seo Jin quickly dodged 2 surprise attacks from Song Chun-hee. Suddenly, Song Chun-hee flicked her finger, sending a bird darting towards Seo Jin. Unable to react, she was grazed roughly across the cheek. Then Song Chun's electric current paralyzed her body. Bi Eung-chun jotted notes while lamenting, whoa, if that hit the fight would have been over. Jotted notes in his book regretfully saying, whoa, if that hit the match would have ended right there. Kim Ho didn't think so. He said she dodged it, but her movement's already slowed down. Watching Song Chun, he gets shocked on the arena floor. The next hit was guaranteed. Just as I thought, Song Chun-hee isn't easy to beat. At that moment, a quick hand pulled something from Seo Jin's side, popped the pin, and threw it toward the opponent. It flew instantly toward her, releasing thick smoke. Kim Ho exclaimed, huh, smoke bomb. Bi Eung-chun got excited and eagerly wrote, good call, a normal smoke bomb would have been blocked. Seeing Song Chun-hee panic, he said with delight, now the tide has turned. This is where the royal guards shine. The dense smoke quickly covered the arena. While Song Chun-hee was still stunned, a strong strike hit her from behind. Watching her protective shield on her back, she gritted her teeth, thinking, I blocked it with the shield, but the impact still threw me off balance. Observing the surroundings, she thought, at this rate, I'm in danger. On the stands, Bi Eung-chun whispered excitedly, must be loaded first year and already rocking an invisibility cloak plus Seo Jin's rifle. His attention shifted to the sniper rifle. Smart move. A bullet zoomed past, but Song Chun-hee dodged just in time. Right after she turned, and Seo Jin vanished. At that moment, the big screen showed scores. Song Chun-hee 85%, Seo Jin 88%. 2 minutes and 13 seconds left, eyes wide open watching. Every move around Song Chun-hee reminded her she couldn't just stay defensive now. Seo Jin quietly aimed his gun at her back again. A bullet flew straight for Song Chun-hee's head, but luckily her shield stopped it. She told herself to anticipate the mana bullet's trajectory along with another bullet, just hitting the shield, thinking, now! Without hesitation, she spun around, right after Song Chun-hee spotted Seo Jin's position. An attack rushed toward her. Seo Jin quickly flew up to dodge it. Song Chun-hee regained confidence immediately. Gotcha! Watching the electric current surge toward Seo Jin's neck, Chun-hee sneered, no dodging now, huh? The electric shock stiffened every muscle in Seo Jin's body. She cried out in pain. At this moment, the system board showed scores. Song Chun-hee 85%, Seo Jin 68% time. Left 0 minutes, 0 seconds. On the arena floor, Seo Jin was officially defeated. The smoke began to clear. Gradually. Kim Ho remained calm. No need to say more. Bi Eung-chun next to him scratched his head in disbelief. Really lost with Chun. His confident stance, he realized. No man could match her. The announcement displayed Song Chun-hee wins, Seo Jin loses. His gaze shifted to Seo Jin slowly getting up. Lasting against Chun-hee is impressive. Bi Eung-chun handed him 5 coins. Here, 5 coins like I promised. Suddenly he said to him, wait, how about one more round? Men gotta do best of 3. Kim Ho frowned and warned, gambling addict, once is enough. He glanced at the person on the arena floor and said, look over here, seems like you changed your mind. Because Hyun-gu's next opponent was a muscular man standing right across. Bi Eung-chun introduced disciple of Fist King Do Bai Oki. He looked at him and asked, who are you betting on? Kim Ho thought for a moment, then slowly said, let's see, probably the Fist King's disciple. Hearing his decision, Bi Eung-chun said, then I'll bet the other way. Same boat, you know. So ruthless. He showed no expression, voice still calm. Just stating facts. I never said Hyun-gu would lose. Bi Eung-chun was puzzled. Huh, what do you mean? Kim Ho chuckled softly. Just watch and see, Go Hyun. Gu looked up at the stands and immediately spotted Kim Hyun watching him. Drawing the sword from his side, he silently vowed to perform his best. But it won't be easy. Bai Ok noticed and asked, "Why not draw the sword on your back?" He replied, "Too soon for that now." The man repeated, "Too soon, Joe Bai? Who are you betting on?" Kim Ho thought for a moment, then slowly said, "Let's see, probably the disciple of the Fist King." Hearing his decision, Byung-chun said, "Then I'll bet on the other side. We're in the same boat." So ruthless. He remained expressionless, voice calm. "I'm just telling the truth. I never said Hyun-gu would lose." Byung-chun was puzzled. "Huh, what do you mean?" Kim Ho smiled slightly. "Just wait and see. Go Hyun." Gu looked up at the stands and immediately noticed Kim Hyun watching him. Drawing his sword from his side, he silently vowed to perform his best. Maybe just got it. But it's not that simple. Bai Ok saw this and asked, "Why not draw the sword on your back?" He replied, "Too bad it's not the time yet." He repeated, "Too bad, Joe Bai Ok," staring coldly at him. "I won't hold back." Hyun-gu lowered his voice too. "Neither will I." The big screen showed Go Hyun-gu 100% versus Joe Bai Ok 100%, then the start command. Immediately, Do Bai Ok launched a series of attacks. Watching his confident moves, he thought, "No wonder he's the disciple of the Fist King, no wasted moves." A punch came flying that made him step back in shock. His body felt weightless, flying back non-stop. One punch came flying and made him step back in shock. His body felt weightless, continuously thrown backward. Hyun-gu was furious, thinking, "Even after bracing for the impact, I'm still pushed this far back. Basic moves won't cut it." Seeing Do Bai Lung charging like a punching bag, an idea sparked in his mind. He lightly touched his sword, determined to finish with a swift strike. Right after two opposing forces clashed head-on, Do Bai Lung couldn't withstand the blade and shattered into pieces. The sword shattered, flying bits scattering across the air. Seeing this, he sighed in disappointment. "Looks like I can't continue. I surrender." Do Bai Lung also lightly touched the torn piece of his garment. "I'll look forward to our next encounter." The results showed Gu Hyun-gu lost with Do Bai Lung winning. Kim Ho muttered, "Just as I thought, the iron sword can't take it." He recalled a memory from when he first saw it on the ship. The guy really treated the iron sword like a disposable item. Byung-chun was stunned, clutching his head in disbelief, exclaiming, "No way, you predicted that too!" A hand quietly grabbed his shoulder. "You're giving me too much credit." Kim Ho smiled gently, then counted out some cash. Byung-chun shyly said, "I'm broke now." Kim Ho showed no anger, but hinted he didn't have to pay with money. Hearing that, Byung-chun asked excitedly, "Really then, with what?" Kim Ho stood up. "Trade me the info you have." Just then, outside the building, Master Lee Sudok's voice echoed. "After lunch, we'll continue with the conquest test. Gather at the dungeon, no latecomers, dismissed on the Green Lawn students." Resting after the tough fight, anyone want to sit together? Awkward silence, all hyped about the conquest test. Some focused on their food. "Wow, this is tasty." Meanwhile, Kim Ho's group rested calmly. Byung-chun chewed and asked, "So what do you want to know?" Kim Ho replied, annoyed. "Spit it out, I'm bored waiting." Later, Byung-chun asked, "Sorry, what info do you need?" Kim Ho answered, "Tell me about the key points of the four main factions." "Got it," he agreed immediately. "This info is already kinda out there. Besides the disciplinary committee's four main factions, there are four big ones: Martial Arts Alliance Guilds, Mage Society, and the Knights. Leading these factions are Moi's grandson, Sword Saint Hui Sung of Martial Arts Alliance Jun, who succeeded the Ruby Tower leader. Mage Society's Hong Ione HV Cap, A, the Guild Alliance with a cat always on his shoulder and a promising member hiding his true strength, and last, the son of the great swordmaster Lee Xiong Hyun of the Knights. After flipping through his notes, these are the especially strong ones. Kim Ho was impressed. Not bad at all. Suddenly, Byung-chun scanned around and asked, "Hey, where's Hyun-gu?" Looking at his phone screen, he exclaimed, "The club president totally forgot him. He's legging it fast." Then added, "Bye, I'm heading out, sorry." Kim Ho sighed helplessly. "Yeah, see you later." With him rushing off, only An and Jen were left and the atmosphere suddenly froze. Watching the girl nibbling her bread, An thought, maybe because she was the first person I connected with in this world, I can't just sit back and watch her lose spirit. Thinking that, An called out, "Hey, the cookie I dropped on the ship yesterday." Kim Ho swiped his system screen. Song Chun-hee AE had sent a dessert voucher already. "Since it's yours, I'll share it with you." An brought over a blueberry pie with a warm smile. "Let's eat together." Duyan softly replied, "Thanks." While eating, she suddenly groaned. "Hey!" An tilted his head confused. "Yeah." Crumbs still on her lips, she seriously asked, "Do you think I lost to Song Chun-hee?" Hearing this, Kim Ho exhaled deeply, then said, "Mana bullets that aren't pure can't pierce a mana shield. Mages with bigger mana pools definitely have the advantage. Since it's your cake, I'll share it with you." He brought a blueberry cake with a warm smile. "Eat together." Duyan softly replied, "Thanks." While eating, she suddenly groaned. "Hey!" He tilted his head in confusion. "Yeah." Crumbs still clung to her lips, she asked seriously, "Do you think I lost to Song Chun-hee?" Hearing this, Kim Ho sighed, then answered, "If the mana bullet isn't strong, it can't pierce through the mana barrier. Mages with bigger mana pools obviously have the advantage." Seeing Jen's blank face, Kim Ho showed her a bullet, but mana bullets enhanced are a different story. Duyan asked confused. Mana training? Why haven't I done that yet? Kim Ho was startled. Huh, don't tell me you've never tried, she replied. Never. His next question left her stunned. So before that, have you created mana bullets until now? Kim Ho asked in surprise. You've never made mana bullets before? Without hesitation, Duyan answered. Yeah, never. Kim Ho stared at her in disbelief, then exclaimed, A genius mana bullets should be a basic skill for every royal guard. Seeing Zen's innocent face, he had tons of questions. So, you've been fighting purely on instinct all this time, yet you made Song Chun-hee struggle despite not knowing how to cultivate mana. If that's the case, after thinking hard for a moment, if you don't mind, show me your skill. Zen agreed. He encouraged her confidently. Cultivating mana and learning skills will make things way easier. The bell rang. Let's go. Libidok's voice rang out. It's time for the ranking exam. In the dungeon hall, Libidok stood before 3 gates and announced, Everyone's here, I'll explain the dungeon challenge. The teacher looked serious as he faced the lined-up students and laid out the rules. The test will take place inside the dungeon gates behind us. This is the Mist Forest. The time limit is 10 minutes for scoring. This fixed dungeon area has 2 special rules. First scores are based on the number of monsters you defeat within 10 minutes. The goal is to kill as many monsters as possible. Second, this fixed zone locks ranks. Equipment, skills, and traits will all be fixed at rank F. The warden carefully warned everyone, don't forget your mistakes will drop you to rank F, so be careful. If you're careless or can't manage your mana, you'll regret it. I will call names one by one. Those who finished the test at the front collapsed on the ground, screaming, their bodies trembling non-stop. Seeing that, a thought crossed my mind. Seriously, what kind of fate is this? It's a disaster. The warden glanced sideways. Some did well, but in a small corner, Hansimi's team had impressively finished with an amazing score, 928 points, first place, 530 points, top 20%. Seeing so few pass the teacher, the warden sighed, thinking only these 2 already feeling a headache. Then he called out the next group list. 2 names were called Seol Jen and Kim Ho. Suddenly he grabbed her hand and said Seol Jen used the rifle for this challenge. Jen didn't hesitate and obediently followed his advice. From afar, Chun-hye was shooting daggers with her eyes at the 2 of them. At that moment, Kim Ho gently reminded Ren, if managing mana is too hard, just aim for the head when enemies get close. She listened well and replied casually, Okay. Chun-hee was confused, thinking, he doesn't even use a gun, so why give that advice before? Entering the gate, he didn't forget to wave at her. Meeting him then, he entered the fixed zone, scanning the surroundings. Kim Ho quietly thought, Mist Forest, huh? It's been a while. Adjusting skill levels and traits, he touched the system screen to check, where am I? Let's get started. Mist Forest, huh? It's been a while. Adjusting skill levels and traits. He tapped the system screen to check, where am I? Let's get started. At the same time, a monster charged. The timer also started counting down 9 minutes and 59 seconds. The monster charged and bit straight into the tree root in front. He swung his sword in a perfect arc, knocking it back. In the Mist Forest, monsters spawn randomly. As soon as he entered, his eyes constantly scanned for the smallest movements. Still, some attack patterns were familiar. Based on where that goblin appeared, it was a Type C who didn't hesitate. Kim Ho slashed straight in one direction, meaning the next monster would come from there. Just as he expected, the blade stabbed straight into the monster's eye socket as it lunged instantly. Jen didn't hesitate and obediently followed his orders. From afar, Chun-hye shot a dagger-like glance toward the 2 of them. At that moment, Kim Ho gently reminded Ren, if controlling your mana is tough, just aim for the head when enemies get close. She obediently replied coolly. Okay. Chun-hee was puzzled, thinking, he's not even using a gun, what's with that advice? Before stepping through the door, he didn't forget to wave at her. After meeting him, he headed to the designated area, scanning the surroundings. Kim Ho thought silently, Foggy Forest, been a while. Adjusting skill levels and equipment traits, he tapped the system screen to check, where am I? Let's get started. Foggy Forest, been a while. Adjusting skill levels and equipment traits. He tapped the system screen to check, where am I? Let's get started. At the same time, something was charging in. Simultaneously, the timer started counting down from 9 minutes 59 seconds. The monster just charged. Something was charging in. Simultaneously, the timer started counting down from 9 minutes 59 seconds. The monster just charged in and bit straight into the root in front of him. He swung his sword in a perfect arc, knocking it back. In the foggy forest, monsters spawned randomly. His eyes constantly scanned the slightest movements in the forest. Still, some attack patterns were familiar. Based on where that goblin appeared, it was a Type C attack, no hesitation. Kim Ho slashed straight in that direction, meaning the next target would come from there. Just as he predicted, the blade stabbed straight into the monster's eye socket. Then, as he calculated, the blade sliced straight into the monster, about to charge, stabbing right into its eye socket. The monster fell back onto the ground with a loud thud. He breathed a sigh of relief. So, I don't even need to use my palm strike. Axe on one shoulder, knife in hand, he was full of confidence. Weapons were scattered here, so he borrowed from the orcs and goblins. Kim Ho stepped toward the monsters gathering to attack. He imagined the test like a game and confidently carried the axe. Time to score some points. Suddenly, fierce screams echoed through the silent forest. Blood sprayed like water, staining the area red. After a while, the monsters had been... He imagined the test like a game and confidently grabbed his axe. Time to rack up some points. Then screams echoed fiercely through the quiet forest. Blood splattered everywhere, painting the area red. After a while, the monsters looked at him with fear. At the same time, the screen showed 7 minutes and 2 seconds left. Kim Ho immediately locked onto their positions. He thought, those two weasels at the edge won't get recorded. He casually threw the knife in his hand toward the beasts and smoothly slid away. The system screen almost forgot if it records my movement and hunting style, it could cause misunderstandings. Need to delete that. Let's move on. Looking at the screen, he sighed. 683 points in 3 minutes. Actually, the current score is 680. 83 points, that's a lot. Kim Ho touched the screen, thinking he'd also completed all side quests. The goal was to score above average on the test, win at least one one-on-one match, and rank in the top 50%. The current dungeon challenge has no rewards yet, so leaving the extra copy slot open only draws attention. Standing before the gate, he thought to himself to stop here and get out. Just as he stepped out, he immediately saw Salez, her body battered beyond belief. Her result popped up, Gen Star 780. 1 point top 21%. Kim Ho approached and asked, "How was it, you okay?" She sighed, saying exhausted. Totally drained, ignoring Master Li Bu's sharp gaze. He worriedly asked, "Exhausted, huh? Your score isn't bad either." The master frowned, thinking, this kid already gave up in the one-on-one, didn't even last the full 10 minutes, probably planning to quit early. He looked at him with disdain and wondered, with such weak willpower, how do you expect to hunt dragons? Wait. Seeing the results, the master was surprised average ranked that many points in such a short time. Huh? Kim Ho, 683 points, 38%? Has there ever been a case like this? The master's gaze changed completely. He thought, Kim Ho, I need to investigate this. Then he called the next person. It was Gu Hyun. Kim Ho warned him, be careful. Hyun Gu glanced back and replied, I'll be back soon. Looking at the top 3 results, the thought crossed his mind, Lee Sang-hyun, son of the great swordsman. Lee Sang-hyun scored 951 points first place, Hansumi 928 second, Mo Young-jun 903 third, and Mo Young-jun is the grandson of Sword Lord, right? The master compared silently. If the top tier opponent is someone like Hansumi, then Gu Hyun is also pretty impressive. Not long after the rankings updated, the master thought, just as I suspected, Gu Hyun scored 1,023 points ranking first, Lee Sang-hyun 951 points second, Hansumi 928 third, Ma Young-jun 903 fourth, truly first place. Watching Hyun-gu step out, whispers spread around, is that the guy from that group? No wonder he fought so well earlier, 1,000 points is doable, huh? Kim Ho immediately stepped forward clearly, happy, great job Hyun-gu, humbly. Hyun-gu reached out and respectfully said, I got a lot of points from resting after the one-on-one test. Kim Ho shyly replied, you're too kind. Seeing their closeness, the guy behind grew jealous. That guy clinging to first place like a loser? Someone else chimed in. Didn't he quit the one-on-one test anyway? Hyun-gu overheard and snapped angrily. Hey, Kim Ho quickly stopped him. It's fine. Turning away upset, but Kim Ho hurried to reassure him. I said it's okay. Hyun-gu sighed, lowering his voice. Fine, if Kim Ho says so. Kim Ho asked, you're done already. Hyun-gu glanced at the scoreboard but still hadn't seen Chun-hee's results. That guy, no wonder he fought pretty well earlier. 1,000 points seems doable. Kim Ho immediately stepped forward, beaming, great job, Hyun-gu. The modest reply made Kim Ho warmly extend his hand and respectfully say, after the sparring test, you earned a lot of points. Kim Ho shyly replied, you're too kind. Seeing their closeness, the guy behind grew jealous. That guy clingy like a loser, someone else chimed in. Didn't he just quit the sparring test? Hyun-gu heard this and angrily snapped. Hey! Someone quickly stopped him. It's okay. Turning away upset, he looked over, but Kim Ho hurriedly reassured him, I said it's fine. Hyun-gu sighed, lowering his voice. All right, if Kim Ho says so. Kim Ho then asked, are you done yet? Hyun-gu glanced up at the leaderboard but still hadn't seen Chun-hee's results. The young lady stared at the door, which remained silent. He blinked, wondering, wait, not finished yet? Inside, she was surrounded by a horde of monsters. Chun-hee swung her sword, saying, this is nothing. Suddenly she gasped, what the hell? Looking at the monsters only slightly irritated, she thought in shock. I knew my strength would drop, but just a slight delay in effect. Surrounded by a swarm of monsters. Chun-hee swung her sword, saying, this is nothing. Suddenly she gasped, what? Seeing the monsters only slightly annoyed, she thought in shock. I knew my power would drop, but just a little bit. Just a little. At this moment, Kim Ho's advice to Zen echoed in her mind. If controlling mana is tough, just aim for their heads. Approaching, she was surprised to realize Chun-hee clenched her fist, thinking, so annoying, his advice just popped into my head. Mana is limited, so wide area skills don't really work. So annoying, his advice just popped into my head. Mana is limited, so wide area skills don't really work. Damn it, his advice just popped into my head. Mana's limited, so wide range skills won't even work. She followed his advice and unleashed a finishing blow without hesitation. She aimed straight at one of the lightning rune's weak points for a guaranteed kill. As she stepped out, her results appeared: Song Chun-hee, 571 points, ranking in the 47th percentile. Seeing her poor score, she blushed, thinking, why did it show up right away? My score's not great. This is so embarrassing. At that moment, the master announced the ranking test is over. Results will be released tomorrow. Rest well, and don't come in last. Then he decisively turned and dismissed them, moving to another room. A cheerful voice called out, yes, please come in. Then a startled voice, Director Lee Boo, why are you here? Director Boo put his hands on the desk, voice hollow. I want to check out Kim Ho's Dungeon Challenge Class 1A. Oh, you're interested in a student? That's rare. Boo lowered his voice, serious now. No time for chit-chat. Show me the footage. The other teacher anxiously replied. Ah yes, let me check. Looking at the screen, the teacher sighed. Kim Ho's replay wasn't saved, so it can't be viewed. Director Boo asked eagerly, what about the dungeon logs? The supervisor hesitated. Those are in the access records, Mr. Lee said. Director Boo was shocked, realizing just as he suspected this kid Kim Ho from the Misty Forest deliberately deleted the footage. Looking at the results board, he suspected at this rate he could easily score 2,000 points in 10 minutes. Kim Ho, Misty Forest, 1:31:02 p.m., 1:34:28 p.m., 638 points, 38%. Why would he hide his true strength, let alone come here? Worried, he calculated the more teammates in the Dragon Slayer Academy, the more enemies they attract. Dragon Lords, cultists of evil gods. If even one sneaks into the academy, it's best to prepare countermeasures. At that moment, the other teacher noticed something odd and asked, should we report this to the principal? Director Boo hesitated briefly, but then firmly replied, no for now, just keep watching. If the info leaks without proof, they'll hide even deeper. He turned away, eyes still glued to the screen. The info on the screen is about you. If he really is a threat, his fangs will show soon enough. For now, just keep watching. The photo clearly shows Kim Ho at 8:27 p.m. in Dragon Slayer Academy tents as Kim Ho approaches the counter and orders, give me a cup of coffee. Hyun-gu hears this and joins in, curious about this so-called coffee bond. Nearby looking drained, she says, I'm heading out first. Seeing her tired, An doesn't hold her back. Then we'll stay here a bit longer. Placing his coffee down, An says to Hyun-gu, let's check out the list they handed out at the end of class. He replies, oh, you mean that thin book? Looking through it, I still don't fully get what's written here. Kim Ho encourages him. That's why we need this coffee break to focus on today's key points. And gently reminds him, first check your student ID card. It clearly says Go Hyun-gu Class 1A score 8069. Surprised, he says, oh, that score wasn't here at first? Kim Ho explains that number shows your usable points. Go Hyun-gu Class 1A 8069. This is the currency used in Dragon Slayer Academy. 8069 is the currency used in Dragon Slayer Academy. He flips to a page and points to content, usually earned from clearing dungeons like just now. You can use it to buy items or access facilities. Now there's something you should definitely spend points on. Tossing the book down, he asks if he saw the notification about recording right before leaving the dungeon. Hyun-gu is startled, replying, that's true. An excitedly explains that now he can buy it. The screen in front of him lights up. Items bought cost 100 points, deducting from others' recordings. Looking at the intriguing orb before him, he immediately realizes this shows Handsome's dungeon conquest progress. At that moment, he remembered something. Since you ranked first, your stuff must be flying off the shelves. Just as he finished speaking, the screen kept popping up sold items. Hyun-gu's conquest rank hit 928 points. Replay added 100 points, added 100 points, added 100 points. Seeing the numbers keep flashing, he exclaimed, this keeps going up non-stop. Suddenly, Hyun-gu worried, but having my replay sold like this isn't good. Kim Ho sighed and replied, yeah, people will try to find every tiny weakness, even the counterattack methods. Kim breathed out, luckily this was a solo contest, so you can aim for the top spot, but in direct duels they include mana battles too. Exposing your weaknesses gets revealed right after. He raised his voice to explain, still the risk is worth it. We can use this to get into the mana training room at the training center, a special body structure with a mana source barrier. What popped into his mind, the most important facility there is the special mana room. The mana inside is denser than usual, so internal power grows fast. Hearing this, Hyun-gu jumped up and asked, a place like that exists? Kim Ho didn't hesitate to answer, of course, but only if you meet the requirements. His tone softened. That probably burns points fast. Kim Ho replied, yeah, it costs 500 points every 6 hours. Hyun-gu sat down thinking, so if I go every day? Kim Ho continued, then you'll run out of points for everything else. He looked up and asked, got any other options? Kim Ho's eyes lit up immediately. Yeah, a season pass. He told Hyun-gu it's given only to the top player of each faction, and to get it, you'd have to take Yeonjun's spot in the Knights. Hearing that name, Hyun-gu hesitated nervously. I don't think I'm ready for that. Hyun-gu whispered, for now grinding points seems the safest bet. Hearing this, Kim Ho suggested, I'll grab it for you, just promise to repay me. Hyun-gu curiously asked, what do you want from me? Kim Ho looked him straight in the eye, deep in the dungeon level-up area below the table. Hyun-gu's hand clenched the side of Kim Ho's pants as his voice echoed. but thinking back to the mist forest today made him hesitate a bit. Depending on the situation, this could be life-threatening. So you in or not? Seeing Kim Ho surprised, Hyun-gu said firmly, "A warrior always wants to get stronger. Hyun has already charted the path for you." With determination, he pounded his chest and declared, "I can't refuse my benefactor, of course I accept." Seeing his resolve, Kim Ho admired. "Good. Now don't hesitate to burn points. Plant yourself in the special mono-room. I'll get your season pass in 2 weeks." Without a second thought, Hyun-gu replied, "2 weeks works. I'll wait." A thought crossed his mind. While Hyun-gu levels up, I'll go trade gear. Meanwhile, at workshop number 4, Kim Ho gently pushed open the door, speaking cautiously. "Sorry." Inside the room, a figure was diligently working. He called out, "Anyone here?" Kim Ho shyly greeted, "Hey, we're interested in the Magic Tech Club." The guy carefully tapped welding points and asked, "Why not start at workshop 1 first?" Kim Ho explained, "I did, but they told me to start here at workshop 4. The repairman looked annoyed. He took off his safety goggles, revealing dark circles that proved his irritation. He glanced over, then walked away saying, "We're busy, don't bother us." Understanding the senior's busyness, Kim Ho politely said, "Okay, I'll watch quietly." Watching the skilled hands handle each weld, he guessed the magic tech skill here must be around B rank. Before leaving, he gently reached behind the repairman and used copy. He told himself the first target was complete, and the system immediately notified him that the skill was added to the magic tech B slot. His head. While Hyun-gu leveled up, I'll go trade gear. Meanwhile, at workshop number 4, Kim Ho gently pushed the door, speaking carefully, "Sorry." Inside, a figure was hunched over, working diligently. He called out, "Who's there?" Kim Ho shyly greeted, "I'm here because I'm interested in the Magic Tech Club." The guy meticulously inspected his welds and asked, "Then why not start at workshop 1? Magic Tech Club." The guy was carefully checking his welds and asked, "Why not go to workshop 1 first? Kim Ho explained, "I went there, but they told me to start at workshop 4. The repairman looked annoyed. He took off his safety goggles, revealing dark circles that proved his irritation. He just glanced over and said, "We're busy, don't bother us." Understanding the senior's rush, he turned away politely. He said, "Yes, I'll watch quietly." Watching his skilled hands handle each welding spot, he guessed the magic tech skill level was probably B rank. Before leaving, he quietly reached behind the repair guy and used copy. He thought, "First target complete." The system immediately notified a new skill added to the magic tech B slot. Copied skill 2 out of 2, probably 2 magic tech B skills. Kim Ho glanced back at the busy guy, thinking the next one must be nearby. Suddenly, a satisfied smile appeared on his lips. Kim Ho thought, "Here it is." He picked up the item dazed, then called out, "Hey, I found this. Looks valuable." The repair guy recognized. It is a 10 by 1 by 10 cube. He casually explained to Kim Ho. "That thing needs high skill level. So ridiculous no one bothers with it. It's just trash. Looks cool though, a cube with such interesting eyes. If you don't want it, I'll take it." Of course, he didn't plan to take it. The system then notified, "Purchase complete, received thermal reaction catalyst minus 1,000 points. After that, Kim Ho smiled happily, offering an item. "Here, take this." He was confident with the item in his hand. The thermal reaction catalyst wasn't top tier, but in Magic Tech you can never have too many. The repair guy accepted it, warning, "Just this once, no bragging to others." Kim Ho cheerfully replied, "Thanks." Behind him, the repair guy held up a glass bottle happily. "Sweet, saved 1,000 points," Kim Ho thought with satisfaction. Selling trash for 1,000 points, no way he's not happy. Looking at the system screen, he wondered if this really was trash. The screen showed a side quest cube over there, a strange cube gate found in the Magic Tech workshop. Target ranked average or higher in ranking test, reward unlock quest chain. Seeing this, he smiled slightly, realizing the quest was truly trash. Who wants this hassle? Final reward, S-rank item life cube. Stepping into a room, a thought appeared. "I've upgraded countless S-rank heroes. This must be the Mana Training Center." He hugged the cube, thinking, "So I already know how to do this without the quest." On screen, appeared use Great Defect to upgrade Magic Tech B to S, lasts 59 seconds, cooldown 58 minutes, 58 seconds. Kim Ho smiled excitedly, raising the cube. "Let's start." With each turn, the countdown showed 47 seconds left. Kim Ho picked up a square screen, showed system countdown 14 seconds effect left. He thought at this rate 3 days and it's done. After a while, screen notified Great Defect effect ended, downgraded Magic Tech S to B, cooldown 58 minutes 54 seconds. Near completion, he exhaled and thought, a minute flies by. Kim Ho meditated before the cube, thinking, if rank drops can't operate the cube, so I'll meditate to refine my core. Meanwhile, the countdown stopped. Kim Ho suddenly opened his eyes. A 1-minute meditation, adjust cube, repeat. The system now notified using Great Defect effect 1 minute upgrade Magic Tech B to S. He placed his hand on the cube, purple energy rolled on his palm. He thought, I have to perfect the life cube before Friday because that event triggers first Friday. Seeing sunlight through the walls, he realized, alright, it's morning time for school. Kim Ho sat at the desk, saw Zen, greeted, morning, you're early. She looked at him coolly and replied, yeah, I woke up early. Seeing the empty seat next to her, he wondered, Hyun-gu hasn't arrived yet. Suddenly, Ren placed a package. In front of him, cookies. Surprised, he exclaimed, "Oh, for me, thanks!" Holding the cookie, he enjoyed it. Dinosaur cookies awesome. At that moment, Hyun-gu appeared behind and called Kim Hyun-seo Miss Morning, chewing happily. Then I'll meditate to refine my core. At this time, the countdown stopped. Kim Ho suddenly opened his eyes, 1 meditation per minute, adjusting the block, then repeating. The system showed a 1-minute buff upgrading Magic Tech B to S rank. He placed his hand on the cube. Purple energy swirled on his palm. He thought, I have to perfect this life core before Friday because that event triggers on the first Friday. Seeing the sunlight streaming through the walls, he realized, alright, it's morning already, time for school. Kim Ho sat at his desk and saw Zen greeting her. Morning, you're early. She glanced at him coolly and replied, Yeah, I woke up early. Seeing the empty seat beside him, he wondered, Hyun-gu not here yet. Suddenly, Ren placed a package in front of him, cookies. Seeing his surprise, she cheered, Oh, for me, thanks! Holding the cookie, he was thrilled. Dinosaur cookies awesome. Right then, Hyun-gu appeared behind and called Kim Ho's lady Morning, chewing happily on his snack. He curiously asked, Why are you late? What's so special about the Mana Room? Hyun-gu excitedly recounted how his energy surged fast the first time. Yeah, feels like I'm about to break through to the next realm. Kim Ho heard this from him, grinned happily. Good, I'll get the early bird ticket as soon as possible. With my support, Hyun-gu smiled gratefully. Ren sulked silently thinking, he's no dinosaur. Just then, Bu-Dok entered with a serious tone. All order and stability. Standing at the elevated seat, the master folded his arms with a stern face before class. I have an announcement for you all. Starting today, we'll hold one-on-one duels in the arena. Bu-Dok briefly explained the time limit is extended to 10 minutes, so the big screen adjusted to show the arena a random map and the 10-minute deathmatch rule. Bu-Dok then laid out, the first year rule, at least 3 duels must be fought this week. Skipping will deduct points. Consider this your warning. That's all. Hearing this, Kim Ho immediately caught the master's intention. He smirked quietly. So the duel rounds start now, I'll win. After a moment, he stepped forward and placed a hand on Hyun-gu's shoulder. Let's hit the arena. The first few matches are the most valuable. Along with Hyun-gu's reply, a small hand gently grabbed his sleeve. Alright, let's go. Don's face lit up with anticipation. I'm free today. The others behind looked puzzled, and so did I. Huh, what do you mean? After calming down, I asked, You mean practicing mana bullet creation like that day, right? Duyan replied slowly. Yeah. Then I sighed in relief. Alright, I'll meet you then. Duyan's expression remained blank. Okay, that afternoon at the arena, as Kim Ho and Hyun-gu stepped in, a curious voice came from Ja Young-ji-young, dripping with sarcasm. You know your friend was the one who surrendered before fighting the young lady, then he shamelessly called me a coward. I just heard about this recently. Hyun-gu angrily snapped, How can you badmouth him right in front of him? Just as he was about to say more, a hand stopped him. Pathetic. Hyun-gu was stunned. Kim Ho ignored their words and calmly asked them, Can you rank? I got 300 points, what about you? Sweating slightly, the guy kept his arrogant tone. 300 points, I'm on the same level as your swordmaster. Oh yeah, he shouted angrily. You think I and Nick with names like that are on the same tier if not for Song Chun-hee in round 2? Hearing that name, I got way more excited. But Chun-hee just reminded me the guy who got struck by lightning and had to be carried out is him Veins, immediately bulging on his forced smile. What Ji-young angrily emphasizing each word, Fine lucky we have the same score, you punk. His arrogant face turned sharp and bluntly said, I'll show that loser right here the wall he can't break. Then a match between the two was set up, Ji-young and Kim Ho both at 100%. 100%! D.Y. swaggered, brandishing his spear ready to take down in one hit. I didn't hesitate and agreed. One hit done. The referee's whistle blew and they charged at each other to start. The spear pointed straight at Kim Ho's face. His eyes didn't even blink. He whispered mockingly to him. Dummy got hit again. The screen showed the paralysis effect. Ji-young looked confused. What's this? Kim Ho raised his weapon coldly. Sorry, no instant knockout like Song Chun-hee. Ae Dongdi suddenly panicked, stopping him. Hold for about 2 seconds. Unheeded, a blade slashed down and a pitiful scream echoed. The big screen showed Ji-young and Kim Ho's scores. One lost, one won. I mockingly said shyly, Loser lost, Ji-young is unhappy, I just missed a beat. Rematch, I'll win. Without hesitation, I accepted his challenge. So rematch it is. The screen again showed Ji-young and Kim Ho both at 100%. Ji-young roared in anger. This time won't be that easy. Then the signal sounded start. The result didn't change. Ji-young and Kim Ho's score unchanged. Watching his pathetic state, I asked softly, why no progress at all? Me, then fight back. The screen once again showed Ji-young and Kim Ho at 100% each. Ji-young shouted angrily, This time won't be so easy. Immediately the signal rang out start. The result appeared with no change. The score between Ji-young and Kim Ho unchanged. Kim Ho glanced at his pitiful state and quietly asked, Why haven't you improved at all? The guy, still angry despite the bruises on his head, snapped, Damn it, lifting his battered face. Now swollen, he yelled, This time I'll win! Kim Ho immediately barked, Cut it out, you crazy punk! He was resolute. Turning away, I'm done. That's it for today. Kim Ho glanced at the screen, worried he had to fight 3 rounds. One-on-one battles, but the screen clearly showed the week 1 dual side quest, complete 3 fights on time, no delays. 3 matches deadline, Sunday midnight rewards based on wins. For now, act like it's not urgent. Then he suddenly said to Ji-young, if you want, I can teach you, but first. He sat down in front of the tuition fee. Ji-young clenched his teeth and snapped. You bastard! Still, he resolutely handed over a wooden box. This is a spiritual elixir my clan made. I'm giving it to you. Kim Ho exclaimed in surprise. High quality stuff. Then he lowered his voice seriously, setting one more condition. No recording this match and don't breathe a word about it. Heading out, the medic obediently replied. Got it, I don't gain anything if this leaks. Taking the box, he smiled. Alright, tuition's paid, I'll play until you're satisfied. After a while, results popped up with young Ji-hyung and Kim Ho's scores. Kim Ho lost. Seeing Ji-hyung's battered body, that's good enough, right? Well done. Suddenly, Ji-hyung sat up and said, Wait, I want to apologize for being rude earlier. Scratching his head awkwardly, he added, I judged you too quickly from just one side. You're not a coward. Kim Ho looked away nonchalantly. Just let me be the coward for now. Ji-hyung blinked confused. Be the coward for now. After Kim Ho left, the medic quietly said, Alright, I won't snitch. I can't be the only one suffering, right? At that moment, Kim Ho approached and curiously asked Go Hyun-gu, I'm done, how about you? He happily replied, I've already won 2 matches. Looking at the system screen, he'll finish the 3rd match soon. Before leaving, Kim Ho said, Go ahead first. Kim Ho encouraged him. Alright, do well. Later in Mama's training room, Kim Ho anxiously asked, Have you been waiting long? Sitting down, Dian casually replied, They sat across from each other, starting with the first lesson about mana bullets. Kim Ho tested her skill by asking her to create a mana bullet. Let's see. Seeing the mana hovering in her palm, he thought in surprise. Impressive. She managed to put Song Chun at a disadvantage just by casually making those mana orbs. She looked puzzled, so it was time to start teaching mana allocation. First, use the right amount of mana per bullet, then timing. After her score appeared, Seol Jin and Wax Ji-cha-un scored 99 and 98%. Kim Ho sat beneath a mountain body shielded by mana, carefully avoiding a royal guard's sight. I just gotta use the environment. Searching each sand dune was tough, but Xiao Zhen had a sharp eye and unusual mana flow between the dunes. A thought flashed, even if all dunes were destroyed, the shield wouldn't break. Dodging a bullet that barely grazed him, he thought calmly, no reason to fear a shooter won't break Song Chun's shield. Then he noticed the shield cracking. The other panicked, no, what the hell? Far away, Zane still aimed steady. Bullets flew non-stop. The other guy clutched his head, screaming, It hurts! After a struggle, the result flashed, Sale, Zane vs Wax Jian, win or lose. Scene shifts to a tall building, a room lit in the dead of night. A magic orb showed Ji-young's fight, along with a passing thought. Hummingbird's moves are unpredictable. Her control has reached peak level. Master Budak watched closely every fight. In the second match, the girl toyed with her opponent's eyes on the stuff on the table. He thought silently. But that's not the only issue. Up next is Chunhyun's orb, Seol Jin's ranking. That bullet was just a rough mana lump back then. At the same moment, Wax Ji-cheon's terrified face appeared crystal clear. Calmly thinking, no need to be scared, a shooter can't break Song Chun's shield. He noticed the shield shatter. The other panicked, no, what the hell? What the? From afar, Zane kept aiming straight. Bullets flew non-stop. The guy clutching his head screamed, It hurts! After a struggle, the result showed. The score: Sale, Zane vs Wax Jian, win or lose. Scene shifts to a tall building, a room brightly lit deep into the night. At that moment, a magical orb displayed Ji-young's fight, along with a fleeting thought. Hummingbird's moves are unpredictable. Her control has reached the peak. Master Budap watched every match carefully. In the second match, the girl toyed with her opponent, eyeing the stuff on the table. He thought silently, but that's not the only problem. Right now, there's Chunhyun's orb, Seol Jin's ranking. The bullet was just a rough mana chunk back then, perfectly timed with Wax Ji-cheon's terrified face clearly visible. It had become a complete mana bullet. Someone could change so much in just 2 days. Budap recalled Kim Ho's words in class. You mean practicing mana bullet creation like before? Alright, I'll meet you later. Then he saw his face and immediately got annoyed. This guy again? Seeing his always calm expression, Budap wondered, who exactly is Kim Ho? At the same time, looking at the complete cube, he felt relieved, thinking, it's done, finally done. Wondered, who the hell is Kim Ho? At the same time, seeing the completed cube, he breathed a sigh of relief, thinking, done, finally done. Just then, the screen showed the life cube B, boosting the effect for the life storing item 1.3 times.